honorable dignitaries, members of the faculty Salesian College, invited guests, and my dear students, welcome to our 2 days national conference. At this juncture, I request all our students to kindly give a huge round of applause to welcome our
Dear friends, as we come together for this 2-day national conference on pen, pain and writing, I wish God's blessings upon this august gathering. At the very outset, I am glad to be part of it, even though physically far away. I implore God for His blessings upon each one, the organizers, the participants and all those who will profit from this 2-day seminar. Here is a list of word pairs called anagrams. The interesting part is they are formed by the same set of alphabets but convey a mutually contradictory or sometimes complementary meaning. Here are a few of them. 1. Teach, cheat. Some Babas teach, some cheat, remaining to teach to cheat. 2. Listen, silent. Be silent and listen. 3. Admirer, married. Status before and after marriage. Fast, fats. Either fast or add fats as you feast.
I am glad first of all to welcome you to this national conference on pen, pain and writing, negotiating connectives, being staged or performed or organized by the Department of English. So this struggle and this pain to take on the pen, this is what our students and all seminars in an educated institutions like this at the end of the day are, my dear friends, being done for you. These professors have taken pains to come from far away just for you, honoring the department and the faculty of this institution who have thought of this idea and who have circulated the message and they have responded to come. Therefore, I would like to.
So I begin with the question. Can one access, through writing, the experience of pain? Is the act of writing inscriptions of the stylus or the pen on the white surface of paper, inscriptions of words on the already inscribed upon surface of intelligibility?
And when I go to the post-aesthetic of hunger, I'm trying to actually talk about the ineffability of othering or the ineffability of understanding the other. There is somewhere, as Leibniz would say, as sir just pointed out, there is the irreducibility of the other. Now, there is a point of time where we go back to Aristotle to see the long tradition that comes out even down to Kant, where Kant is definitely talking about the othering development of the self.
Let us take up briefly in this line two very well-known lyrics by John Keats. One is Ode to a Nightingale. It starts from pain. My heart aches and a drowsy numbness pains me. And just when pain was going into abulia and aplysia, loss of syntax and loss of speech, loss of language, does Keats recover. And in the very next stanza, he goes into the intense and intensive amounts or quanta of ecstasy.
Stopped upright where I am, hugging my body to me, as if to shield it from the pains that will go through me. Only I can take care of myself because there's no friend, because my friends are dead. There's nobody to answer my calls. Only I can hug myself. So hugging then returns. And hugging returns with a kind of power that is basically to console, because you're consoling your body.
So this is one of the earliest model of fountain pen. You can see that 1867. And in my paper, I will be tracing the development of science, modern science, through late early 18th century onwards, and how it claims a certain sense of autonomy in terms of its discipline in order to address questions concerning the real, concerning the facts which are related to everyday life, and the division of the disciplines and the claim of the superiority.
I was biologically challenged in terms of reproduction. Being a woman married for a few years, was expected to have children, which I was not feeling an own urge for, but the society was wanting it. I was asked to visit doctors. It was painful. This paper attempts to study the psychological dimension of the representation of pain in autobiographical narratives by women, namely The Prisons We Broke by Devi Kamble, Urmila Pawar's The Weave of My Life, and Bama's Sangati, to explicate the modalities through which, I quote, writing about personal experience translates the physical world into the world of language, where there is interplay between disorder and order, wounding and repair. Quotes close.
Helen, Sita, Draupadi, Penelope, the epic women, they have always been marginalized as secondary, insignificant and passive citizens of their world, who provide the pretext for the masculine warfare and honor, but are never a part of it, following the Aristotelian directive where women are prohibited from being the subject of tragedy. So thereby their inner conflicts, angers, grief, regrets have been portrayed only as they affected the lives of their fathers, brothers, husbands and sons.
The one particular essay, if you're looking at it, I do think that the Spectator Papers is a text that some of the students will look at, is the death of Sir Roger. You see, there's this clash between Sir Roger and Sir Andrew Freeport. One represents the decaying gentry, the other the upcoming merchant class. And even, there's this very fine rivalry which is balanced by good humor. There's this one point when Sir Roger is dying, but he mentions the Game Act, a difference he had with Sir Andrew Freeport. Right? So, the pain here is minimal. It is a laughter that he seeks to create, a bonhomie, a sense of society coming together, a creation of the public sphere.
How can we link this aesthetics of satire with an emerging imperialist discourse in the 18th century? And if through people like Swift, because in Dryden, of course, it seems quite blatant, but if through Swift, and then gradually if you're moving to the literature of sensibility, where suddenly what literature should strike at is imaginative sympathy, where everyone is basically good and all that. And how does this kind of literature sensibility, by the time you reach the age of romanticism, deal with people from the corners?
Yes, thank you, Lata. That was a fabulously interesting question, which will take me another 30 minutes to respond to. Do I have the time to respond to that? Ratan has raised a very, very important question. But should I be elaborate or should I be succinct?
I feel that I still didn't understand.
You are absolutely correct here. We have, in the older sense of the 18th century, always talked about the peace of the Augustans. Right? You remember Sainsbury talking about the peace of the Augustans when he was writing it in the time of the First World War. He said that this is the age of peace. False. The 18th century is one of the most violent ages.
The sense first inscribing the Quran in its collection through the years of Muhammad's mission and into its recensions after his death, bequeathed to the pens of commentators the task of interpretation as the book of people. The sense of possessing scripture is the core of Islamic faith, but no less important is the sense the scripture possesses. The Quran, literally translated after all, means reading or recital, and the text in the reciter's sequences passes into the
context of the literary world.
You can see, okay, with the Amar, with his struggles and all of that. Another thing is that he's including certain languages, which are only understood by the native inhabitants of that place and the traveler who learns that language. I'm giving some examples. Ikara, Ichu, Thumba, Ihu. Okay, Khanda, Khanda. Thumba, Pokaku, Cheshara, Thumi, Thum. All these words are like, gibberish. Has got no association with any language of the world perhaps. But he uses it, he constructs this way of language for those people. Tell them this is a kind of remote foreign land. It exists. People speak over there. You see, they have a language of their own.
She has also received feminist and psychoanalytical criticism for her other works of supernatural fiction, as well as her erotica produced during the same period. Her biographer Catherine Ramsland's personal study of Rice's works ended in early 90s, when Rice was still a self-proclaimed atheist. There exists little critical commentary on her other vampire novels, written in the 90s, where she plays out her religious dilemma in a better fashion.
Providing a free space to audience stifles the said free space itself. But providing free space to writing and staging plays to make literature and culturally an apolitical entity. And this paper is strongly not suggesting nor subscribing much of such possibility in space spawned politically.
So, through this paper I want to unfold the layered avenues where Bengali Muslims or Bangla-speaking Muslims are being misrepresented and their genuine identity and daily raw experiences subjugated by the politics of pain, resulting in their silent humiliation and excruciating psychic pain and agony.
My paper is about the partition pain, you can understand from that title. Now, I'll just refer a very particular scene from the film 1947 by Deepa Mehta, which is actually based on the novel by Vapsi Silva, where you see that the little Parsi girl who encounters a riot and comes back home, and he asks her friend to pull the rag doll that she has, and it is torn apart, and when the doll is torn apart, she breaks into cry, and the maid, Shanta Bai, comes and she tries to put the little pieces together by the safety pin, but she couldn't. And that is precisely what what I feel when I hear the terms like dismembered past or remember.
Hundreds of novels had already been published on the same topic. But what differentiates or sets it apart from others is that it has a narrator which is death. So death, we get to know all the events, or we see the events through the eyes of death.
But what I want to say is this, that is, pen is very powerful and it has got a lot to do. Now, just want to ask you to keep this in mind that pen can build or break individuals, groups or nations. And as I conclude, I want to ask you people who are highly creative as writers, a challenge facing before you is to create a better world through your writing. Promote a thinking world, a compassionate world, where individuals find fulfillment and nations live in harmony to enhance the life of every individual. Thank you very much.
Writing pain, suddenly one H appeared inside. Now what happens if between the right and the ing you add an H? It becomes writhing. Writhing pain is also equivalent to writhing pleasure. Writhing is a word that would go very well with, somebody is writhing in pain, someone could be writhing in pleasure as well. So that is the connotation that as a thread that runs through every paper that was present, including I couldn't see the connection immediately between historiography and pain. But even that, for a student who was forced into history, probably that entire process of pain to come out with a paper on historiography and pain. So I think we have enjoyed it and we have suffered.
And personally, I enjoyed quite many papers. I really enjoyed Sir Rafat Ali's presentation, and to Sir who has consented to come over because of the personal connection, and all others who were responded to it, and others have already gone, therefore I am not making a point. To all, every one of you, sir, is we say Bharti Murgi Dara Barabar Kehta, so I am not making a special mention. Thank you so much, dear participants and dear students who sat through, and Dichen for having asked that question. Where's Dichen?
The only question.
Yeah, the only question. Yeah, I really like that. And to the master students who sat through, thank you so much. And Sonada campus faculty members, thank you so much. Have a lovely time.